So today, lads, I'm going to be talking about a potential free agency move that the more that I think about it, the closer we get to the season, the more this move makes sense. The more as a move it makes sense. And it is Breanna Stewart leaving the New York Liberty to join the Indiana Fever. Why? Why does this make sense? Because the New York Liberty are probably not going to win the title next season. Jonquel, we saw in the playoffs, took a step back. She looks slower and she looks older. Not saying Jonquel Jones is not the best center in the world or anything. I'm not saying Jonquel Jones is not one of the best centers in the world. But if you're asking me, who is better today, Jonquel Jones or Aaliyah Boston, I'm going to answer Aaliyah Boston. I think Aaliyah Boston is the better center. But I think it's close. And you've got Jonquel and you've got Aaliyah. And then you've got Breanna playing the one with Breanna Stewart. And the New York Liberty don't know what they're going to do when it comes to Breanna and Escu at the point. Because they're trying to find a guard to play with Breanna and they haven't figured it out yet. Like Benijah Laney Hamilton, obviously, is coming back. She's somebody that is a really, really good player. But she's coming off missing essentially almost 2 years because of knee injuries. Like she is. And not only that, the New York Liberty might not be able to afford to keep to anyone other than minimum contracts. If they have Leo Fibish. Leo Fibish is the only player they have on a pre-CBA rookie deal on their entire roster. Leo Fibish is the only player they have. Everybody else isn't on a pre-CBA rookie deal. So you've got Fibish, you've got you've got Stewie, Breanna, and Jonquel, which is an unbelievable four, by the way. Unbelievable. But Stewie, Jonquel, and Breanna, and a minimum contracts. You can find one high-level wing, and the rest of your team are minimum contracts. If Stewie goes to the Indiana Fever, she goes to a team where she has the perfect point guard for her at this stage in her career in Caitlin Clark. Because what is Stewie good at right now? She's good at getting to the basket. She runs in transition. She still plays defense. What is Stewie bad at right now? Shooting the ball. She is shooting the ball horrendously right now. And she shot the ball horrendously since her MVP year. She shot it horrendously in 2024. She shot it horrendously in Unrivaled. She shot it horrendously in 2025. But we saw again, when it came to the playoffs, it was Breanna Stewart on a bad knee trying to carry a team. She was the only person who scored in the fourth quarter. She literally carried the New York Liberty by herself. And she goes to the Indiana Fever. You look up and you look around and you've got Kelsey Mitchell, you've got Aaliyah, you've got Caitlin. All on the floor at the same time. And then whoever the wing is, whether it be Sophie Cunningham or Alexi Hall, you've got a dog who will shoot the shit out of the ball. You've got somebody that is going to a tough player who's going to put their body on the line and is going to shoot near 40% from three. Stewie will never have the type of space that she will have playing with Caitlin Clark or Aaliyah Boston. Especially now when I'm just watching. Is it the clip here? No, there was one of the clips where I watched it and I'm like, it was where Caitlin hits Aaliyah Boston in a pick and pop for three. And if you're watching the areas that Aaliyah Boston is operating from, so I'm just going to go, I'm just going to show you guys this here. So I'm going to bring out the old type of stuff that we used to have, the paint app. So we're going to draw the 3-point line here. So obviously a little bit different, but Caitlin Clark operates because Caitlin Clark can shoot from this area right here. You are taking one defender out here, especially in any sort of pick and roll, pick and pop situation where Stewie can be a screener, or she can play in the dunker spot, she can play in the corner, she can play out here. She can initiate the pick and roll. You're in a situation now where because Caitlin Clark has the gravity of up here, you're taking a defender out and you're going 4-on-4. Because Aaliyah Boston now has an ability to work out of this range here, but she is a player who works out of this range, and kind of this range. She's not somebody that tends to work around the basket. And Aaliyah Boston can get the ball on the low block here or here and just start banging. But that's not her A game. Her A game is that super high IQ hub. And then you've got Stewie, who is going to get wide open layups off cuts. It allows Stewie open drives. It allows Stewie to get her post-ups because if Stewie's posting up here and getting to her fade kind of here, Aaliyah Boston's just there traveling around the bottom. On the defensive end, Caitlin Clark, as much as people want to insult her defense, is a very, very average defender. Like, she is a very, 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 very average defender. Like, she's not good, but she's not terrible. Like, she is, I'd say she might be a 50th percentile defender, which is fine. Like, again, there's plenty of players that are 50th percentile defenders. That's not saying they're a bad defender. You have Kelsey Mitchell, who's a slightly above average defender. On ball, not a great off ball defender. You've got Lexi Hull, who's a defensive playmaker. You've got Aaliyah, who is all defense level. You've got Stewie, who's now all defense level. The game, if Stewie goes to the Fever, the game will not be easier for her. And I think even if you are like, the only logic for her not going to go to Fever is like, okay, yeah, she wants to have her team. But the New York Liberty is not her team. The New York Liberty is not it's Sabrina Ionescu's team. It's not Stewie's team. Stewie's their best player by a lot. It's not her team. That is Sabrina Ionescu's team. And the New York Liberty have made sure of that. They have made sure of that it's known. Like, they are building around Sabrina Ionescu. They can't core Stewie. The Indiana Fever have the money to pay Breanna Stewart a max contract. There is a chance it happens. And the more I think about it, the more I'm like, what team makes Stewie's life easier? I'm going to list through all the WNBA teams. Because I know she just won a championship with the Liberty. She was this close to winning a championship with the Storm, and she left to a much worse Liberty team. So, let's look at the teams. Dallas Wings. Why would you go to Dallas Wings? Just in general. Sky, no. Sun, no. Mystics. Kiki gets in her way. Because of where Kiki operates from. The LA Sparks. You know what? Putting her, they're not going to do it, but like putting her at the 4 beside Dearica Hamby at the 5 and Kelsey Plum, and they just maybe would need 1 or 2. The Sparks could hit in free agency and become a contender and make Stewie's lives easier and better than the current Liberty. The Valks, you just never know who the Valks are going to get. The Valks could have the best team in the league next year. The Storm, no. The Fever, yeah. The Liberty. The Fever, and again, the Liberty finished 1 spot ahead of the Fever last year in the standings. The Mercury, if they want to keep Satu Sabally, you can't afford her. And I don't know how she fits with Lissa Thomas. The Atlanta Dream, no. The Aces, imagine, but they can't afford her. Again, if they want to keep Jackie Young, Chelsea Gray, and Sabrina and AJ Wilson, they can't afford her. And then the Minnesota Lynx. The Minnesota Lynx would be really interesting one because I think her life will be made a lot easier at Minnesota as well. I think she would fit in seamlessly at Minnesota. But I still think the place where she goes and she can have her best season, because you've got a point guard in Caitlin Clark, who is a true point guard, unlike a Sabrina, who would be willing to average 13 points a game. Like, I can guarantee you that Caitlin Clark will be willing to average 13. Aaliyah Boston will be willing to have less points a game. And you can have Stewie being like this completely juiced up version of what Natasha Howard did last year, but better in every single way. And that's a championship team. It's a championship team where Stewie goes and averages 17 points per game and they're fighting for a 1 seed. It really is. So yeah, the more I think about it, the more I'm like, not that I think this is going to happen, not that this is a prediction, the more I'm like, I like the idea of it. I like it both ways. I think that it makes the Fever, it makes the Fever arguably favorites. And I think it prolongs Breanna Stewart's career as this MVP level player. I think it gives her another chance at a ring. I don't think Breanna Stewart has it in her body. Like, she's coming off an Achilles tear. She has those knee issues. I don't think her body can last that much longer as a first option carry job like she had to do last season. I don't know how much longer. I don't know if her body can last another season of that. Like, we saw the injury last season. We saw her realistically having to come back early from an injury because of how shit the New York Liberty were doing. And we've seen in the Fever, even without Caitlin Clark, the Indiana Fever can still be good. So you don't have that much of an issue. And I think at this stage in her career, she doesn't want to be in a team where they're fucked without her. And I do think the Indiana Fever are less fucked without her than the New York Liberty are. I think the New York Liberty, I have a weird feeling they might regress. It just didn't. John Quell did not look right coming back last season. And by the way, to act like John Quell is not currently just stealing money from Fenerbahce, basically. Legally stealing money, by the way. Go get your bag. But like, John Quell's not just had surgery and missed the entire offseason. Breanna, again, you just know when it comes playoff time that the likelihood of Sabrina Ionescu taking over is quite low. And Benai Delaney-Hamilton's pretty much missed 2 years of basketball. The only consistent player, it seems, in that lineup is Leah Fevish. Anyway, yeah, that's the video. See you guys.